Yug and Abhimanyu ran toward the upper room. When they reached near Kachwa, they saw him standing like a statue in front of a closed door. What happened, Kachwa? Why did you scream? Kachwa was so frightened that he couldn't speak. His eyes were wide open and red. Yug held Kachwa's hand and said, "Why are you so scared? We are here now. There's nothing to worry about. Calm down and tell us what happened." Kachwa didn't speak. He only pointed toward the bottom of the door. When Yug and Abhimanyu looked down, Abhimanyu asked, "Why are you pointing there? There's nothing below." Kachwa stammered, "Not below. Look at the latch of the door." When Yug and Abhimanyu looked at the latch, their eyes widened in shock. On the door's lock was a big iron chain with a red cloth tied to it. Over it, a white sandalwood swastika was drawn. Above the lock hung an Islamic amulet with something written in Urdu. Alongside the amulet, a Christian cross locket was dangling. Abhimanyu said in surprise, "Why are so many different religious charms tied to this door's lock?" Yug looked at the room and said, "This is my father's room. This is the room where he died." Abhimanyu thought for a moment and said, "That means the story Kachwa's grandmother told was true." Yug asked in astonishment, "What do you mean?" Abhimanyu explained, "Kachwa's grandmother said that your great uncle Dilip brought three religious priests to seal this graveyard mansion. They used their divine power to bind this room so the Yakshini could not escape. To trap a spirit, a sacrifice must be made, and those three priests must have done it." Kachwa took a deep breath and said, "That means the Yakshini is still inside." Yug still could not believe it. The charms on the door proved the story, but his mind refused to accept it. Abhimanyu examined the door carefully from top to bottom. His eyes fell on the number plate and he was shocked. When he ran his hand over it, he felt an electric jolt and stepped back. Seeing him recoil, Yug asked nervously, "What happened? Are you all right?" Abhimanyu stared at the door and said fearfully, "This room, this is the devil's room." Yug's eyes widened. "What are you saying? Devil's room?" Abhimanyu continued, "Maybe you don't know, but in Christianity, this number is considered unlucky. The Bible says it's the number of the devil. In ancient times, wicked people used this number to summon the devil." Yug forced a laugh. "You're joking, right?" "No, Yug, I'm not joking. In the New Testament's last book, the book of Revelation, this number is called the number of the beast. It's important because that book, written around 96 AD by John, describes how demonic powers will rule the world. Two beasts will rise, one will make people worship the other." Kachua stammered. "Then will humanity end? Will there be no way to survive?" "There will be a way," Abhimanyu said. "According to John, people will have two choices: either take the devil's name or have the number marked on their body." Yug wiped the sweat from his forehead. "Abhimanyu, this is just something written in a book by a man. I don't believe it." "Believe or not, truth doesn't change," Abhimanyu replied. "Many texts call this the devil's number. It is even linked to the Hebrew language. 2000 years ago, Hebrew was the main language, and the original Bible was in Hebrew. In Hebrew, every letter had a number. 6 was considered incomplete because God created the world in 6 days, and on the sixth day, humans disobeyed him. That is why 6 is seen as imperfect." Kachwa interrupted. "Then maybe the Yakshini who seduces men and kills them is a demon too. Maybe she wrote this number to summon the devil." Yug objected. "But my father said the Yakshini was a good woman." Before he could finish, the door in front of them began shaking violently, as if someone inside was kicking it hard. The three of them were terrified. Kachwa trembled and said, "See, Yug, I told you the Yakshini is inside, trying to come out. Now do you believe me?" For a moment, Yug was also frightened, but when he looked at the window, he calmed down. He pointed and said, "Look outside. The weather is turning bad, like a storm is coming. Maybe a window inside is open and the wind is hitting the door." He teased Kachwa. "I've known you since childhood. These are just your excuses to avoid work. Come on, stop this and get back to cleaning." Kachwa made a sad face. "No, I can't." "How can you not? It's just sweeping, not a tough exam. If you don't want to clean upstairs, go downstairs and mop the hall. And remember, you'll do the work for the coward too." "Alright, but promise me you won't touch this door or think of opening it," Kachwa said. Yug folded his hands. "I promise, I won't open it. Now go." Kachwa took the broom and went downstairs. After he left, Abhimanyu asked, "Yug, earlier you were saying something about the Yakshini?" "Yes," Yug replied. "She used to be worshipped like a goddess. Why would she do the devil's work?" Abhimanyu thought and said, "You have a point. But then how did this number get here and who put it? I know how, Yug said. Who? Abhimanyu asked in surprise. You forgot? You said this graveyard mansion is from the British era. We all know how cruel they were. Maybe the British wrote it to summon the devil to win wars and rule India. They could do anything. Abhimanyu nodded. You might be right. That could have happened. Exactly. Now leave this door alone. Don't clean it. If even one charm falls, Kachwa will kill us, Yug warned. They went back to cleaning the mansion. By 8 at night, their work was almost done. Heavy rain poured outside. Only the chandelier in the hall was left to clean. They took it down and began wiping it. This isn't an ordinary chandelier, Kachwa said. It's a lamp style one, rare these days. How much would it cost? Abhimanyu teased. Planning to sell it? Before Kachwa could answer, the lights suddenly went out. Abhimanyu laughed. See, you spoke of selling it and the power went off. The Yakshini will sell you first. Don't forget this mansion belongs to her. Kachwa shivered. Don't say that, I was joking. Sorry, Yakshini, I won't sell anything. Yug interrupted. Stop talking and turn on a phone flashlight. My battery is dead. Bring matches from the kitchen. No need, Abhimanyu said. I have a lighter. He lit the lamps of the chandelier one by one. As the lamps glowed, the mansion looked mysterious again. Then suddenly they heard a knock on the door above. Yug asked, Did you hear that sound? Kachwa stammered, Yes, I heard it. Abhimanyu said fearfully. That sound is coming from the upper room.